Easter wouldn't be Easter without chocolate. We eat more chocolate at Easter than any time of the year. I think most people's perception of chocolate is either a milk or a sweet, sickly confectionery. I myself was fortunate enough to be brought up on darker chocolate. But even I was surprised when I travelled to South America and I made my first bars of cacao. You know, the diversity from sweet to savoury, but most of all, the flavour notes of that chocolate. And I thought to myself, God, we don't know at home what real chocolate is. And I thought to myself, I'll take that back. You know, take that back to England and tell people.
But telling people about chocolate has certainly been easier for Willie than making it. His plan to launch a new top-quality chocolate bar has had some serious setbacks. The cocoa beans he travelled 5,000 miles to Venezuela to hand-pick have ended up the other side of the world. And the beans he received instead are not the right quality.
I mean, there's a massive amount of problems. We'll have to see. I simply don't know anymore.
He needs to pitch the new bar to retailers, but without the perfect beans, he's afraid he won't be able to deliver the bar he's promising and ultimately pay off some of the huge and growing debts.
If we go down the route of borrowing the $500,000, where do we think we're going to get it from? What are we going to put up against it? And what are the risks?
Suddenly, Willie's high hopes of building a brand new business seem to be in ruins.
What a nightmare. Things are not great. Basically, I got the wrong shipment. The only light in the tunnel at the moment is the shipment now has been sold on to Japan, which is probably its original destination. So soon I'll get it out, because at the moment I can't get anything new in. And also, I mean, every time I look at them, they make me feel depressed, to be honest with you. With the current economic climate, one could think, now, is it the worst possible time ever to have launched a bar of chocolate? I can't help feeling if I didn't do it at all, you know, I would be, you know, too niche to survive. By opening up and doing a bar enables me to spread my wings into a market that isn't so niche, something that's more accessible. So, I mean, right now, it's all about keeping your head above the water. You know, it's about surviving. I made some money, you know, from selling my 100% bar. I put all that money into doing what I'm doing now, into producing the chocolate bar. I've even put the taxman's share as well. So if it does go wrong, I won't even have the money to pay the taxman. I can't just keep my head low. I've got to somehow find the money. So, you know, and you don't tell the taxman, it's not going that well, see you later, I'll sort you out. It's just not going to happen, is it?
The chocolate market that Willie is trying to enter is all about mass production on a huge scale. And his life has been all about machinery, meetings, and money. It's a long way from the roots back in Venezuela, which originally inspired his passion for chocolate. Men like artisan chocolate maker Pedro Rosa, who has produced his chocolate in Panigiri for 10 years.
I couldn't pass Panigiri without stopping off to see Pedro, the legend of chocolate.
Pedro uses the same Carinero cocoa bean as Willie, works with just 2 helpers, and sells his chocolate locally. Willie has bought Pedro a gift of some chocolate moulds in exchange for a few tips, which Willie might take home with him.
Hola, Pedro, ¿cómo estás?
Punto.
Mira, yo vine con unos moldes para ti de Inglaterra.
Caramba.
Allá abajo, ¿verdad? De esto, ¿verdad? You always learn something from here. It's a flavour thing again, you know. Pedro's making bars out of Carinero, and you've got that beautiful characteristic flavour coming out of the chocolate, and he's producing it in small, roasting it in small batches, and that's the key thing, really. It's flavour and the way you produce your chocolate, you know. Okay, tú hecho con esos, okay.
Mira, bombo. Ese es para rellenar bombo.
So you're using that to put it in? That's clever. If I hear anything about chocolate, you know, I go. You know, there's an interest to learn something. I would go anywhere if I thought I was going to pick up something.
Sí. se llena more adentro.
So visiting people like Pedro, it's all part of the trip to make fantastic chocolate. You always pick up that extra little bit of information that you didn't know. And after all, I'm starting off on making chocolate. People like Pedro are key to find out those little secrets. I want to make high quality, you know, flavorful chocolate. And this guy's doing it on a much smaller scale. I want to do it at a slightly larger scale, but not at a big scale. I want to do what he's doing, same flavor, slightly larger.
Pero esto no es leche, esto no.
Yeah, something about this visit that I'm always going to remember. It's the taste, it's the smell, and it's chocolate.
But achieving that taste and that aroma crucially depends on starting with the very finest beans. And the beans Willie has had delivered back home in Tiverton are not the right quality. Willie has been struggling to sort out the problem, and after what seems like weeks on the telephone, at last he thinks he has it resolved.
So basically, we managed to send on the 25 tons, which was meant for somebody else, to them in Yokohama. I managed to source some beans in Holland to replace the solution that, which actually originated from the Franceschi family, which is who I'm working with. And I have sourced some good Peruvian now from Holland, which just arrived yesterday. That's how tight it is. I've tested, they're fantastic. The Peruvian are great. The Rio Caribe is remarkable. I mean, for me, I could not have made a better bar of chocolate.
The bean problem seems to be solved for the moment, but sorting it has cost Willie valuable time and has further damaged his already desperate finances.
I am obviously out of pocket at the moment for the containers that I paid for bringing the 25 tons over, sending it on. So at the moment, I'm running at a massive loss, really.
You know, I made this. This is a frying pan. Yeah, really. I'll show you later. I open it. That's a frying pan. I'll show you. A big one.
The emergency seems to be over, and Willie hopes the compromises it's forced him to make won't do too much harm to his new business.
It was going to be 3 bars, but obviously now I've had the disaster of the Carinero, which has gone on to Yokohama. There isn't going to be a Carinero, sadly. I couldn't source a good enough quality, you know, to make a bar. So I've now reduced it, and I'm going to do a Rio Caribe and a Peruvian, San Martin. So it's going to be 2 bars, but, you know, I'm confident I'll get them out.
All that'll be fine if Willie can ever get some of the antique chocolate-making equipment he's bought to work. And meanwhile, Willie's Jogaholics are still some way from falling in love with his new chocolate.
Just because he loves it, not everyone does.
I will never be converted to dark chocolate.
The harsh recession means it could hardly be a worse time to launch a chocolate bar at the most expensive end of the market. So Willie can't afford to allow his existing business, producing cacao for cooking, to lose momentum. Everything depends on his reputation, and so when he gets an opportunity to get involved in one of the most prestigious events of the year, he takes it.
This, for me, is a fantastic opportunity. 1,800 people trying the chocolate. It's got great kudos. You know, Cartier Polo, I couldn't get a better event. I mean, there isn't a better event.
The Rhubarb Catering Company is preparing a high-price luncheon hosted by a famous London nightclub. The China White Lunch is one of the exclusive events taking place at the prestigious annual Cartier International Polo meeting.
It's the first time we've used it for an actual event. We had the client come in for tasting, and we showed Willie's chocolate. Obviously, it's the first time we've done that. It's the first time we've shown it to a client. We didn't know how they were going to react, because obviously it's quite strong in flavour and quite different to what we normally use. They loved it. Obviously, we had to run it by chef. He's, you know, can be quite sort of demanding. The client really loved it, and the chef really loves it. This is the biggest function we've ever done, and it's the first time we've ever used this chocolate, so it is quite a lot of pressure. We need 900 grams of butter.
All right, 900.
Yes. So we make a sabayon with the eggs and the sugar.
Okay. Now, where's the bain-marie?
It's just over here.
It's just around here.
It melts quite quickly.
It does, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Put the chocolate here. So we add some of the Savion to the chocolate, just to expand the chocolate.
Yeah. Is this enough for 2 trays?
Yes. Okay, so it goes in about 150. Okay. Pour that all on.
That's lovely and shiny, isn't it?
Lovely and shiny.
Beautiful. The passion fruit really plays, doesn't
You don't
it?
think it's too much passion fruit?
No, it's lovely. It's delicious.
Good.
Lovely, yeah.
Good.
Unfortunately, it's very nice. Very well done.
Great, thank you.
This is tickets, £500 a ticket. This event.
£500 a ticket, wow.
But look at the pudding.
That's the cool tent then.
Yes, definitely.
Guys, you need to hold these plates really flat, okay? Otherwise all the sauce goes up the sides.
This is the biggest area.
Right.
We're doing 670 people.
Yeah.
1,700 altogether. So this is the biggest kitchen.
Wow, that's a lot, man.
Yeah. And there's
Feels quite relaxed though, no? I mean, people
it's quite
seem to
relaxed
be
at the moment. Yeah.
Looking good, no? We've done our 600 desserts.
It's organised.
Yeah?
That's why.
Yeah.
Please stand in front of 2 plates.
Logistically, doing any kind of catering job, you know, of this size, 1,800 people, you're going to have problems, you know, you're going to have delivery problems onto the table at the same time, and it's a mammoth operation. It was a good combination. They had 3 little desserts together. It was good. The lemongrass pancotta went beautifully with my chocolate. At an event like this, I've got the opportunity, you know, to deliver that chocolate to people, for them to taste it and make their decision whether they like it or not. I mean, it's all about getting your product out there. For me to get my chocolate out to so many people, amazing, man. I mean, it really is.
For the last 7 months, Willie's family have heard nothing but his plans to produce a chocolate bar. And they're not the only ones. A group of 10 local chocolate lovers have acted as guinea pigs, meeting regularly to taste Willie's trial bars and undergo his chocolate re-education.
So I'm going to make some little Italian jobs with some of my chocolates sandwiched in the middle. They're actually biscuits, and it's my last chance for me to make something, to slip it in there with the chocolate group. I'm going to be kneading them for the last time. I'm just pasting the butter and the sugar together. I've pretty much got my head around the actual chocolate and the flavour, but actually, you know, the look of the box is not quite there on, and it'd be good to have their feedback on it, really. I remember in Venezuela, when we used to have to whip the eggs and we didn't have a whisk, we'd all be that macho thing in South America, who's the strongest, and you'd see the arm going round and round and round, and the egg whites would rise up. And there was always this sort of macho grin as who could do it the quickest. No bubbles, but nicely creamed. Okay. There goes your egg. Little teaspoon of almond extract. 100 grams of almonds. A bit of flour. I'm gonna sandwich a little bit of my chocolate in between the 2 biscuits. So yeah, and that's gonna just give that a little bit of a knead. Split my dough into 2. A little bit of my chocolate in between, and hey presto, 1 American biscuit. Of course, us in England, we might be have a bit more finesse. So I'm going to bake them at 160 for 20 minutes.
While Willie's confident of the flavour of his chocolate, that won't be enough for the bars to stand out in a competitive market. He needs some eye-catching packaging, so he's invited Alex Bain of Bristol-based design company Taxi Studio to his Chocoholics meeting.
Here's the chocolate gang. Come round. Let's spread ourselves around.
And how do you see my bar sitting amongst all these bars, sort of, you know, design way? Because these are all telling different things, aren't they?